The NFL has short memory. One season, you can pop off, go crazy. The next season, you could fall off. Everybody and their mom is going to think you're washed. But these 5 players of 2026, I think it's going to be a reminder to everybody of who the fuck they are.
Starting off at number 1, we got Calvin Ridley on the Titans. Well, he was limited to 7 games with 17 receptions for 303 yards and 0 touchdowns, but he had a monstrous broken fibula. He also had some hamstring issues kind of early on to the season, and it really derailed his production with a 46% catch rate. Despite, his elite route running and history of 1,000-yard seasons, I do think he is amazing. With his improved quarterback play, and with him coming back in, kind of acting as a wide receiver 3 or 4, I think he has the potential to have a bounce back season. His 2025 season's stats and context, he had 36 targets, 5.1 per game, 16.4% target share, and a 23.8% target rate. His efficiency was a 46% catch rate, which is significantly lower than any of his seasons. But his route participation was a 56.6% of snaps. So he was still getting the snaps. He was still getting the plays while he was there. He just really wasn't being targeted. He really wasn't getting the love, I feel, before his injury, of course. But he has a proven track record. He's an elite route runner. With this season, he should be in a better situation because, he's not hurt.
Yeah, I do agree with having the fact that you have Cam Ward, who is coming into his second season. He's going to be able to progress more. He's going to be able to build his relationship more with Calvin Ridley. The last time Calvin Ridley's season was cut short was in 2021 with the Falcons. He only played 5 of those games, and he had 281 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then the next season, he joined the Jacksonville Jaguars. He played all 17 games. He had 76 receptions. He had 1,016 yards. He had 8 catches for a touchdown, and he was averaging 13.4 yards per catch. And honestly, this season, he was averaging 17.8 before he went down with injury, which is really fucking good.
Yeah.
And I do truly think that Calvin Ridley, Mr. Bet on your own games, but I do think he's gonna have a bounce back season. I really do.
So let's see if he runs it back and goes for season 2 of being suspended.
My next person that I think is gonna have a bounce back season is Brock Bowers. He only got to play limited amount of games because he's injury that he had with his knee. And, I mean, it's fucking Brock Bowers. You look at his rookie season. His rookie season went absolutely nuts. He had almost 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns. And then being bounced down to 12 games, he had more touchdowns than he did last year at 7. And he was also playing with a very shitty quarterback named Geno Smith. I believe Freddie Mendoza is 10 times better than Geno Smith, at least Geno Smith right now. Maybe not past Geno.
I think that's honestly just kind of obvious. I mean, Geno Smith played like fucking garbage.
Yeah, but I think if you give him a good, consistent quarterback, yes, that quarterback is going to come in as a rookie, but from what I've seen that rookie play like in championship games, he's a lot more put together.
Yeah, no, he definitely is, and I like him as a quarterback, but I just want to talk about how I feel like fucking Geno Smith was playing with fucking blindfold on. Have you seen like the Princess Bride movie or whatever? The guy with the he's got the black fucking mask on with the 2 little eye holes. I feel like that's how Geno Smith was playing his whole fucking season. He's fucking awful. I don't know how the fuck he's in the NFL still. Get him out. 3, we got Malik Neighbors. His season was cut short in week 4, of course, with a torn ACL and meniscus in his right knee. His brief stint in elite rookie performance is giving me a strong basis for being able to say that he's going to have a bounce back. But his stats for his 4 games were 18 receptions, 35 targets, which is above 50%, 221 receiving yards, average yards per catch at 15.1, which is great. He had 2 receiving touchdowns. His average depth of target was 18.2, so he was getting hit on deep routes. His yak per reception was 2.8. His passer rating when targeted was an 84.2, which is, again, amazing. And his best performance was week 2 against the Cowboys, where he had 9 receptions, 162 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's got, when he is healthy and when he is playing, he's got elite usage rates. His target share was 30.2%. He proved in his 2024 rookie season that he is not a fluke, and he deserves to be the wide receiver 1 in New York.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because you got Jackson Dart, who is 10 times better than the receiver the quarterback he had in 2024.
Yeah.
And I do think that Jackson Dart is going to be one of the best quarterbacks
Yeah.
if he just keeps improving himself and proving himself on the field, which I think he did well last year. Now that he's going to have his wide receiver one back, he's going to perform even better.
Yeah. Going off that, the New York's entering the Jackson Dart era. They're offering more consistency in the quarterback room. They got a 4 quarterback rotation if needed. His young age, he's going to recover. He's going to bounce back from this injury. He'll be just fine. In his shortened 2025 season, unfortunate, of course, he had a huge, massive injury, and that sucks. But he just demonstrated an elite ability with higher yards and a high share of team receiving yards.
My fourth person I think is going to have a bounce back season is Mike Evans. There's trade rumors that he's going to leave, but I don't think he's going to leave. I think he's going to stay with the Bucs. He's been there his whole career. At this point, there's no need to leave. He had one bad season out of the entire 12 years he's been in the league since 2014. Yeah. This is his first time not hitting 1,000 yards, and that's because he was limited to 8 games, and in those 8 games, he wasn't fully performing as he should because he was injured. Yes, he's getting old, but I do think he's going to bounce back and hit us with one more 1,000-yard season before he retires. Tampa Bay, if they're going to make a push to do anything, they need to make a push right now. So I think they're going to be playing aggressive. I think they're going to make aggressive pickups in free agency, and I think they're going to have a great draft on top of that. And if they can improve their team a little bit, and they make that strong push, Mike Evans is going to be the backbone of that strong push.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that like right after the season ended. We both are huge Mike Evans fans. We don't want to see him go anywhere, and I really want to see him get that last 1,000-yard season before he retires. But I definitely do think this is going to be his last season, so it's going to be his hardest effort, pending the games he gets played into, of course.
If he comes back on track 100% from that injury, which, I mean, at his age of 32, you really can't be 100%. But if he could at least that 80-90% range, he's going to be third in the receiving slot behind Chris Evans and Mbuka, who is a rookie receiver. He had a great rookie year. And even at wide receiver 3, he's still going to be that deep threat at that 6'5", 230. You can hit him in a long ball, and he's going to come down with that ball. You saw it multiple times in his career, and you saw it again last season when he played.
Yeah.
But I truly do think he's going to have a great bounce-back season to end his career off.
Editor Logan here. So Mike Evans signed with the 49ers, but still believe the breakout's possible. But, scrap everything we said about the Bucs because I think their time's done.
We got Justin Jefferson. He recorded a 6th consecutive 1,000-yard season. He finished with 84 receptions, 1,048 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. Again, that's really low. It's his lowest yardage and his lowest touchdown total of his entire career.
And his lowest average per catch.
Yeah, true. We can't really blame it all on him, though. He remained a top-tier fantasy option. He remained a top target option. There's just quarterback instability with the Vikings.
J.J. McCarthy needs time to improve, and he showed that he needs time to improve this season. I mean, you have a superstar wide receiver. Even when he played 10 games back in 2023, he still put up more yards and more touchdowns and more average catches and more first downs. Like, you have this giant track record of 6 years, and you performed very, very good, and then you just have this one dip, which is still a great season for any other receiver, but for a name like Justin Jefferson, it's not a good season for you.
Yeah, it's not. Going a little bit more into it, he was 13th in the NFL in receptions, and receiving yards was 12th, but being tied for 96th in receiving touchdowns is inexcusable for an elite name like Justin Jefferson. But going to like the good part of his stats, he did average 451 yak. His average yards per receptions, which isn't his best, of course, he was still at 12.5, which is 47th out of wide receivers. It's not awful, but it's not Justin Jefferson. He had a catch rate of 59.6%, and his average yards per route run was 1.85, and he still had a PFF grade of 80.5 for a wide receiver. But now that he's had his down season, I feel like the established QB chemistry will be a little bit better. And at the same time, J.J. McCarthy was dealing with a hand injury, and Max Brosmer, he had a full season of training with the healthy developing J.J. McCarthy. So that should significantly improve the timing and deep ball accuracy that he was struggling with so far. And now that he's had time to get back from that injury, I feel like him and Justin are going to connect a lot more. The system and volume for Jefferson continues to operate in Kevin O'Conley's pass-heavy system. Even with poor QB play, he's still getting the targets. He had 141 in 2025. He just couldn't really convert because they were overthrown, underthrown, or hospital balls and all this other information. He definitely had a statistical step back this year. but he still made an impact, and I feel like he'll easily bounce back next year with all this stuff that's changing and happening.
So that was 5 players that me and Jaden personally think are going to have a bounce back season. You agreed with all 5, correct?
I did. I don't really have a single one. Maybe Mike Evans, but it's just because he's getting old, just a little bit.
But yeah, that was 5 players that we think are going to bounce back from the season they had last year. They're definitely going to put up better numbers. Who do you guys think is going to shock the league this year? What is y'all's predictions? Go ahead and drop them in the comments and let us know. But we'll see you guys next time.